What's up, everyone? This is Niyi Adewale, host of the Ekabo Home Financial Freedom Mastermind Group. This group meets virtually every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and the members of this group are committed to achieving financial freedom well before the traditional retirement age. So in this podcast, you are going to get VIP access to the conversations we have about different forms of investment and creative ways to get your dollars working harder for you than you originally worked to obtain those dollars. You're like right now from an investment standpoint.
I am kind of just looking for the right investment for me. It's kind of complicated because I could either move and rent out my house and I could get pre-approved for more or not, or stay at my house and save up 15% to buy something. And I'm kind of seeing if I can find something that I'd be willing to move into or that would work for me. But I haven't really found anything yet that I really would want to jump on at this time.
And please help me. It's been a little while. Which part? Do you live in Atlanta?
No, I live in Louisville.
You live in Louisville, Kentucky. Yep. Oh, Destiny. I'm tripping. Yep. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm like,
sorry.
dang, I'm not memorable enough.
No. It's because I have a lot of people that join at different times. So Destiny, great job. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah, so if you're able to do that owner occupant, I would do that 10 times out of 10 over saving 15%. I'm actually getting ready with the funds from that closing to buy another property. Literally after this call tonight, I'm writing up 2 offers. 1 for my client. I've already talked to a realtor. I think they're going to be able to get this house. And 2 for me to start putting some offers out there because I want to get one. But if you're able to do the owner occupant, highly recommend going that route.
You buy something here in Louisville or back in Atlanta?
For me?
Yes.
I'm looking to buy something here in Atlanta now that I live here. Louisville's been great, but the piece that I've struggled with is property management. And I know if Monica were to build out a whole arm of property, I think right now, I believe you help manage her personal properties, right?
Yes.
So if she were to build out like a whole property management, there she goes. Hello. If she were to build out like a whole property management leg, then I would consider like, hey, just going under her because she's awesome. I know whatever she does is going to be good. Right now, I've dealt with 2 different property managers. It hasn't been the best. And so I'm liquidating some properties. There's plenty of buyers out there right now. I'm liquidating some properties and moving that money here where I have a whole team now. I actually do a bunch of short-term rentals. And so I got a team here that I can just buy a house, put it underneath the team, and we're good to go.
Yeah, that makes sense. Who are you using here in Louisville?
I used, what were the names? Metro Management a couple years ago. I don't know if you heard about them, Susan Daly.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't know any experiences, but I've just heard the name.
No bueno is the experience. That was one.
Well, then, I'm sorry to hear that.
And then my current guys they have software and everything and they're decent, but during the pandemic, they grew from 700 to 1,400 units. And so there's some growing pains and a couple of things are slipping through the cracks, understandably, because they doubled in size, right? 700 to 1,400 is a lot in 2 years, but it's a PML, Property Management of Louisville.
Oh yeah. I've heard of them. Yeah. They're all, I've heard the same, like they're okay. I worked for Berkshire Hathaway in property management. They do HOAs as well as managing properties. They have a decent amount of properties as well. But everybody has their issue. They were pretty good on the outside, I felt like, but organizationally, internally, I felt like it wasn't the best.
Yeah. And honestly, property management's a tough business. Like I personally would not want to manage a regular property, right? Like a long-term rental, because there's just not a lot of margin there. Even if you charge the 10%, which a lot of people are charging less than that, it's tough. Whereas with short-term rental management, I like that because I have a couple, I'm able to put more teams in place that can handle it. And I take a 20% cut. So, if somebody books for $1,000, that's $200 coming our way. That's I can work with that,
So you help other people with their Airbnbs, is that right?
I do. I have 2 of my own. I'm looking to buy 2 more really quickly, like within the next 2 months, but I manage 8 additional right now. So I got 10 total under management. And I recently started building out the team. Before I was doing it solo, like all last year, as well as early this year. Beginning of last month, I put 2 new people on the team. One's a maintenance manager who handles all things maintenance, which has been a godsend. Like literally somebody says, hey, fridge, dishwasher, whatever. I just forward it to him. He figures it out. That's one. And then 2, a guest experience manager that allows me to have these conversations because she is handling all the messages. We have an automated system, right? But there's still some random messages that are going to come, and she kind of takes that as much as she can with just some oversight.
Okay. I'm going to be managing one for George and Monica. Well, I'm already managing their properties. So they bought one that they're going to do Airbnb. So I'm going to be figuring that out. So I might have to look to you for some kind of guidance because I've never done it before. So we'll see. But I'm excited. And I know Airbnbs and just short-term rentals are just, you can make so much more than you can doing long-term.
You can, and it's fun. Like once you get that hospitality bug, right? Hospitality bug. It's like, where has this been all my life? And it allows you to buy homes in neighborhoods that people want to live in, neighborhoods that previously wanted cash flow. For example, when you look at Louisville, if I still live there, I'd probably be looking at short-term rentals. Why? Because in old Louisville, you can get cash flow, but you're going to get an older house. You know, you're going to get all the things that come with that. Whereas if you can go buy in the Highlands, right, and you're able to get the permit and Airbnb that, you can actually cash flow while having a house that's going to continue to appreciate because people want to be there. So that's why I'm excited about the appreciation and just all the factors that are forcing housing up.
Right.
And then the fact that I live in Atlanta where 100 people a day or more are moving here, and there's just so much going on in this area. I want to keep buying these houses that people are going to want to stay in.
Yeah. What's the average home price in Atlanta right now?
It's crazy. So the average home price has gone up over the last 2 years, which is nuts, from 250 to 350. So
I think Louisville is probably around in between 250 and 300.
It's increasing. It's definitely increasing. And it's one of those things where it's pricing a lot of the first-time home buyers out. Like, I'm so happy for you that you purchased your first, because now you can leverage, you understand the game. You're like, okay, I can get another one. For a lot of people, like I'm working with a couple first-time home buyers, really the only market available for them, if you're 200K or less out here, is like a condo, you know, not even a townhome, but a condo. And then you got to just kind of figure it out from there. Whereas, you know,
condos are expensive.
They are. You're paying an HOA. You're not allowed to do as much. You know, you're still sharing a wall. It feels like an apartment at times. So but that's the market.
Yeah. See, that's one of the things I want to, if I move down there, I want to like buy a house before I go there. Yeah. I don't want to rent down there at all. I was thinking about doing that because I have a friend that lives down there. But if anything, I might just call you and have you find me a house before I move down there.
Hey, hit me up. Literally, I do house hacks all day, right? Similar to what you're doing, or what you want to do. And I love looking at single families with in-law suites. I actually saw one the other day for a client. It was listed at $399. It had a full kitchenette and basement. It was a quote unquote single family. But if you rented that basement out on Airbnb, it would fully cover your mortgage. So all you have to figure out is how to qualify for it, whatever you need to do, claw scratch, and then you're literally living for free in a house that's going to continue to appreciate in a dope neighborhood.
Yeah. With you being a real estate agent now, how do you kind of get your clients? Like, do you use KV Core?
KV Core, is that
that's something that EXP has. I don't know. We don't use it.
Yeah, I don't use KV Core. What I use, and Monica just put me onto it, so you probably are better with it than me, but Follow Up Boss.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's been amazing. Like, I just signed up literally 2 days ago. Reason being is because my board ran out of space. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm definitely dropping the ball a couple of these with everything going on. So I just signed up. And honestly, so you've used that system for a while, right? Follow Up Boss?
Yeah, I think I told you I've been with her for 2 months, but I've been using it. So how did you like connect it with your website, or how did you do it?
So I need help with that. right? I need to connect with you on that. So what I did is I just created it, and I'm also on Bigger Pockets as an agent finder. So when people fill out Bigger Pockets for Atlanta, there's only 10 agents that are sourced to, and I get a bunch of leads from that.
Okay.
And those are awesome leads. And it's not there's not a sync for that yet, right? It's not connected. So I had to go through Zapier or to create like a Zap. Or is any of this ringing a bell? Zapier or Zap?
No, because I cut like everything was kind of already connected. Like we have our website, like totallyabouthouses.com. And basically people will come onto our site. And if they look at a house, it's going to say, show me houses under this price, this price, this price, this price. And then you just put in your information, and then it kind of like assigns it like round robin. Like round robin just means it goes around to whoever. And then it's just like this person, this person, this person, this person. And then it just keeps going around and around.
Until
then we
somebody
have
takes
targeted
it.
Facebook ads. So that's the website. And then we have the targeted Facebook ads. So like we have a new listing, somebody clicks on the listing, they might put in their information. Then that one also is round robin. And then our site is connected through YLopo. I don't know if she told you about YLopo. Which is kind of, I think it's more just like a lead generation thing, and it has like an AI. So basically when you're put in as a lead, it connects with the YLopo system, and then our AI will like text that person as if it's a real person. So that's through our, and that's like through our website, the YLopo, I'm pretty sure. And then there's Facebook ads, and then we have realtor.com, and then Zillow. And, and then I get a lot of people just from sign calls, like because my name's on a sign. So a lot of people will call me from the sign saying, hey, is this house still for sale? And I'm like, no, but I can help you find something else. So that's how I get a lot of my business. But that's the thing, whenever I leave this team, I don't want to go anywhere. And then I'm going to have, like, I don't know, maybe I'll have to pay for leads. I don't really, right now, I mean, their structure kind of takes care of the leads.
Like they're bringing the food to you, right? So Monica has the generator. She's like bringing in the leads, the fish, we'll call it. And then you guys are just taking that and running with it. And there's a little bit of a split, right? But it makes it a little easier to just hit the ground running because you're part of a solid team.
Way easier. So I got 3 people under contract last week.
That's amazing.
And I mean, it makes it so much easier.
And that's the benefit she's bringing. Because I mean, Monica, I got to meet Monica before she had the full team, when she was just solo. And that's why we still work together, like, tight and all that stuff. But it's amazing. And she's 5 years ahead of me, right? So from a realtor perspective, she's 5 years ahead of me. So she's like the sponsor and the person that I look to as like a mentor. Cause I'm like, hey, I want to build it like that. And so the way I'm trying to do it is, I think we talked about it briefly. I'm still working a W-2 alongside the realtor piece and investment and the management. So it's a lot going on. Hence the reason we have a call at 7 p.m. and not earlier in the day.
Right. Works for me because I was a little.
Hey, you was working too. But the reason that I haven't moved into full-time real estate yet is I want to give the realtor piece a little bit of time to get off the runway, right? Typically, if you're building solo, that first year, you shouldn't plan or depend on having a lot of commissions, right? I've been blessed. I've been closing a couple consistently, but you're going to need something that's going to pull in leads organically that you don't have to pay for over time. And so I do the agent finder because I truly believe in Bigger Pockets and I love it. And those guys are awesome. And those are real leads.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm paying for. Zillow, all that stuff, I've stayed away. I'll probably do that in the future, but I'm doing things like this. So I set up this call over a year ago before I even had my license, just so I can have a touch base with other investor-minded people and talk about financial freedom and even just learn, right? Like I bring people on here that I want to have access to before to learn, and it's awesome. But this also works as a lead gen and a touch base. Every single week, when the people that join understand, okay, Nee's a realtor in Atlanta. If I have investment questions, let me talk to him. So you become a quote unquote expert in the market. These sessions are recorded and I release them as a podcast, right? Editing out portions and stuff like that. But it's released as a podcast that's going to live on YouTube and the podcast world, and hopefully will generate leads 2 years from now. I'm not even looking at right now. And potentially, if it grows enough, you could get some income from that. So that's 2 ways, right? And then the third way is even managing these short-term rentals. Like you manage properties. If somebody wants to sell one of those properties, you're going to be the first one notified. And if they like you as a manager, you're probably going to be the one they want to list it with. Like, hey, it'd be easier to just go with you because you know the tenants, you know the whole situation, everything about the property. Can you list it? So there's many ways to do this. I think it's just thinking intentionally and focusing on a couple key areas to build those leads.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to start doing like TikToks. I mean, you know, TikTok's a big thing. I'm young, but I'm not young in my brain. When it comes to that kind of stuff. So I really am not good with TikTok, social media, stuff like that. I can do the basics. That's about it. But I really want to like get into that and just get in front of the camera and be more comfortable in front of the camera and just, you know, proceed, you being the expert, the local expert of real estate, especially among my age group, you know, the 20 to 30 crowd. And that's the area I really want to focus on because those are the people that are, I mean, I think that people like millennials this time, like this day and age, like we are really wanting to do different things than the generation before us, which I really like. A lot of people are more wanting to be business owners, investors, in stocks and everything like that, and the generation before us were just wanting to work. And we're not wanting to do that. We're wanting to get passive income.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. And I think it's a couple of things. One, we had the internet to where we can see other people doing it and learn that way. And also when you look at just the work environment, it's changed, right? It's not physical work anymore. It's more mental work. And the pensions and things that would keep people in a job for 40 years are gone. Like there's the employers have stopped giving you that lifetime pay. And now it's like, hey, you're just a quote unquote contractor, right? And so we got to figure it out. But you mentioned one thing, like, and it's tough. Like I just started getting into it last year when I started posting things, because most of the people that are on social media, good majority of them, the influencers, quote unquote, are not actually doing the work. They may have like one property or two, and then they're like, hey, you know, check this out, right? They're focused on getting money from like YouTube and stuff like that. We're actually doing the work. So we have to make time to put the messages out there, right? And to just record sessions like this. And that's why I started doing this too, just so you can really start to put that out there, right? This is the work that's being done, and it will generate leads for you in the future. I really, truly believe that the age group that you're going after, which is, you know, millennials, Gen Z, et cetera, if you don't or are not active on social media, you're missing out.
I know. And that's what I'm finally working on, and I'm seeing. And there was just the part that I was posting about other stuff because I didn't have anything going on, but now I got stuff going on, and like people liking and sharing. It's really great. Like people that haven't really interacted with me are finally like interacting with me, high school friends, college friends, stuff like that. So I just really have to, you know, not be such a nervous Nancy when it comes to like talking with these people, because they're engaging with me. Like they're seeing what I'm doing. They're like, wow, she sold, you know, she had a double closing yesterday. They had another closing. She's really selling homes, and she's selling nice homes at that.
Yeah.
Because at first I was doing a lot of rentals. So people were like, you know, not really thinking about me like that, I felt like. But I think now I think what I'm doing is I'm so busy with like getting more clients through Monica's system that I'm not thinking about even picking up people organically.
Yeah. And literally like this forum right here has led to 2 leads that I've closed, right? Just from people saying, hey, one person recommended me to his mom. He's like, hey, go check out, go have a listing appointment with my mom. Listed with her. We got that done. Another person is a realtor in New York. Was like, oh, I forgot you were a realtor in Atlanta. Can you help my friend? I helped, and we got a closing actually for him on Friday. So I got his gift basket over here. This podcast's going to come out way after that, so we don't got to worry about that. I'm knowing that he got his gift. But to your point, it's what I try to do is put as much of it as I can on somebody else's shoulders. For example, when you look at the social media piece, I don't put together the pictures and the videos from closings. I actually have a photographer that does it for not too expensive. I tell him, hey, this is the closing. Can you meet me out here? He takes crazy videos, pictures here. Actually, let me see if I can show you one. And he edits it together to where it's a nice feature, both for the person that's closing as well as for me. So I'm going to share my
I was
screen.
thinking about that. I was like, wouldn't it be cool to just like document the whole home buying process for a person? Like, you know, just taking videos on every house they saw, and then showing, telling them the one, oh, this is the one that you finally picked,
Absolutely.
That's
And to that point, do you do videos and stuff like that for your clients that
I
close?
do not right now.
Okay, so you can see Monica featured a couple times. Where are we at? Accept that offer.
Yeah, one day, I hope to have the capital where I can have other people do stuff for me.
Hey, come on now. Can you hear that?
I'm not there yet. I can't hear it, but I can see it. That's dope.
So this is just closing. Right? I didn't do any, he's just like, hey, walk up here, do this.
That's
And
awesome.
she really enjoyed it. And it's something that she can give to her, and this was not too expensive, right? It's pretty cool. But it leads to more clients, more engagement. People are like, oh man, a lot of people reach out, and then you get more, because in this world, you really do have to, it's about the social.
Right.
And then
I like that. That's really unique. I've never seen anybody do that. I'll have to follow you on Instagram.
Hit me up. Even your personal journey, like, right? I've closed a lot of houses with Monica. So this is one where I'm shouting her out because she's awesome. And then also, just back at the on the closing table and having some fun. I love the game. But no, it's that quote, what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Yeah, I like that. You got to bring some humor into it. I'm all about making jokes. If you go to my showings, you would think that I'm with the clients, like I'm their friend.
Yeah,
that's how I kind of like to. Those are the best experiences where you're just having a good time, and you're just personable, and you just kind of just have a good time. I mean, don't be so serious. I mean, in the day, we know what we're out here to do, but you can have fun while you're doing it.
That is the key.
That's what I always do. And that's why I love real estate. And that's why I love selling real estate, is because it's just something, I like talking to people. I'm a very talkative person. So it gives me the opportunity to talk a whole lot and not feel bad about it.
Hey, come on now. And Destiny, you actually get to my cousin here, Francesco, who started joining these calls last year, said he wanted to get a property, and actually a little over 2 weeks ago was successful. But Francesco, you gotta one, introduce yourself, and two, share the story, man. I want to hear the details about this one.
Well, congratulations.
I appreciate it. Sure thing, man. I got you. Sorry. I kind of got carried away doing some home renovation things, and I noticed the time. I was like, oh, snap. So my apologies for being late. But yeah, so I just acquired my house, like Nee said, right around 2 weeks ago. And throughout the process, I was a bit dismayed because, interest rates were going up, and there was always like so many different obstacles. Because purchasing your first home, just like doing any other thing that's new can be a bit overwhelming if you don't really have the support system. So there were multiple times throughout the process where I wanted to just give up and just wait till next year, and then next year becomes next year, and then next year becomes like 5 years, 10 years. So, I was blessed enough to have a cousin like me who is already in the game, basically injected like some perseverance in me to just keep going. And so there were multiple houses that I saw, and people were coming in with cash offers, because right now I'm in Los Angeles. Well, I was in Los Angeles. Now I'm in Baltimore. I just moved about almost a year ago. And so I was going through my job. My job basically did a whole, grant thing where they give you, some money towards the down payment. So that's another entity that I had to work with. So I wasn't just working with, my realtor. I had to work with my job. So they were holding me up too. And there were so many different stressors that, I had to deal with. And by God's grace, I made it through. And all of a sudden I'm in this house, and this was like a third option type of situation. And I'm really happy that I fell through with it, because I really was about to give up multiple times. So.
Dude, congrats,
That's
man.
a great story.
Appreciate
yeah. I actually had a grant too. I got the Welcome Home Grant, which is something that I don't know if it's a government program, but either way, I got a grant, and it held up my closing 2 weeks. And I represented myself, and so there was no one to go to. It was just me. So I was so overwhelmed. But I'm glad that I got the house. And, at the end of the day, 2 weeks over the grand span of 30 years really isn't nothing to go crazy about. But, of course, when it's during that time and you went through all this and then it's like 2 more weeks, it feels like an eternity. And it's always something feeling like it's holding it up with the loan process and then the grant process. So, yeah, I'm glad that you found something. Sometimes you can't find the right house, or you don't think it's the right house, but it is the right house, even though it felt like it was the third option. Because if God wanted you to have the other two, the first two, then they would have been your house. So it's always it's always in God's plan, I say, because I looked for a lot of houses, and this house that I'm in right now that I got last year, it was off the market. I looked at it. Someone else in my family actually wanted it and I really liked it, but I was looking for someone else. And I was like, well, I really like this, but I'm looking for them. So, don't be selfish. It's kind of how I felt about it. Then they were just lollygagging. And then the house was off the market. Boom. It comes back on the market. I put an offer the very next day that I saw it went back on the market, and I got it. So I thought it was a house for a family friend, and I ended up getting the house. I didn't even show it to that person for myself at first.
Wow.
It's crazy. And I really love this house. So it's crazy. I saw it. I was in the house. I said I like the house, and I didn't even think it was going to be mine. Thought it was going to be for someone else.
Yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because now me being in this house, it's like I feel like this was like almost like the first option. Intuitively. Exactly. Yeah, it was like straight intuition. And yeah, it was interesting. Like, I'm very appreciative of, this being my final option. So, or it being the main house that I ended up in. So, yeah.
Dope. And question for you, while it's still fresh, right? What was something throughout this process that was unexpected or frustrating, like that you didn't see coming? And what was something that was, surprisingly, hey, this is not that bad?
Number one, taxes. I was like, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? Like, the grant, they didn't tell me they were going to withdraw taxes. So literally it was like they took off it was like 40% of taxes. But
yes,
luckily my job, I was able to, I think I exempt myself like 2 days before the deadline of the next pay period. So I was just talking to people. I talked to my worker, and she was telling me, hey, I got the full amount because I exempted from taxes accidentally. I was like, oh, snap, let me try that. So boom, did it. I got in at the right time, and it was like serendipity, man. It was something, man. This whole process was just a very spiritual process. I'm like, wow, like it was like a game of seconds, It was
hey,
just
come
crazy.
on now. And on a side note, now that you got the home, don't forget to turn your tax exemption back on, because you don't want to get hit with the
yeah. Honestly, man,
don't play.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying getting that full check that I deserve,
man.
But I got to turn it.
Believe me, when I was up in Boston selling the medical devices, I had a couple checks come in, and it hurt at the time, but it would have been painful the next year, man. So I would cut that thing back on as soon as you can.
So is it like they have different income taxes? Is that what you're saying?
No, they tax the grants. That's all it is. Like how you received your grant. I'm not sure if your grant got taxed. I mean, you probably should. Where do you live?
I live in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, my grant, I got the full 5.
Wow.
It's different when you work with the W-2, and for context, Destiny is a realtor. She actually works on the team with my realtor, my rockstar realtor in Louisville. And so when you are full-time realtor, there's a lot of different advantages you can get from a tax stamp. And also if you're getting a grant from like the city or the state, that's going to be a little different. The grant that he's talking about, Destiny, is from the employer, similar to like how anytime I get a moving fee, for example, when I moved from Louisville to where did I move from? Louisville to Boston, they gave me like $13K, but really it was like 7 because they had to cut off, 40%. It literally is about 39.5 or 40%. So you got to pay tax on that. They count that as income at the end of the year.
Oh, so like when you get like moving bonus, or like they pay for your moving costs, that's taxed?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, mine, I think it was like through the loan company. So I don't think I got taxed. at all. I just got the full vibe. And I was actually barely even selling. The house I sold myself was my first transaction, actually. So I like use myself as like a dummy, I guess. And I feel like that's the best way to do it. If you're my age, if you've never seen any real estate done, because I was 22 when I bought the house. So I'd never, I didn't know really a lot about the whole transaction. I know about real estate, but I'd never done a transaction. So my first transaction was my own. So all the things that didn't foresee happening, I got to test it out on myself rather than make that mistake with another client, which was good.
And I would agree with that. Like for me, the reason I felt comfortable moving into getting my license and helping others is because I've been investing for 6 years, right? I've made the mistakes. Believe me, I can tell you a couple, and I've taken my licks in my wounds, right? But I'm still here, and now I'm making much better decisions. And so with the past knowledge, I understand like, hey, with this offer, why don't we try to go a little bit over, but get our closing costs covered? Because that's something that you're not thinking about. Like, that's a lot of money out of pocket. It's better to finance that and get it covered. Stuff like that, right? Stuff that I do for myself to help acquire properties, I'm now able to do for my clients and kind of walk them through, hey, this would make a good house hack, or this one over here could make a good Airbnb, etc.
Yeah, I've kind of just been faking it till I make it a little bit. It's been working. I've just kind of like been paying attention to what other people are doing and just saying, okay, appraisal gap, okay, just no repairs, just ways to win, just listening. I've kind of just had to just listen and see how other people are doing things because I'm going to be 24 this year, but there's still a lot that I don't know. And a lot of that is just kind of speaking with confidence and kind of just faking it till you make it. And if you don't know, you say you don't know and you'll just get the answer, because at the end of the day, if you get the answer, then you'll know the next time.
And the key,
you are young and doing it. That's what's up. Congrats.
Thank you. I don't even feel, when I say I'm 24, I'm like, really? Because I feel like I'm like 35. But yeah, I just started really young, and I at 19 I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. And I have been gun-ho real estate. I was in school, got my bachelor's degree, got a little job, I quit that, and now I'm just doing real estate. And when I got the job, I said, this is the last job I'm ever going to work for the rest of my life, and I'm never going to work another job. And I quit it, so now there's no turning back. I have to make it.
That's the key.
And then I want to learn more because I know I don't know everything. So, I met Nee last week when he closed on his property and invited me to this call. So I'm just wanting to speak with like-minded individuals like myself, because like I said, I'm young, and a lot of the people I know, they're not wanting to invest. They don't want to talk about investing. And I need to be around people that want to invest.
Hey, well, you're with the right crew. We've got people from, getting the first investment, getting their eighth investment, and you'll see over time when a lot more people join, just kind of the varying rates that we have. But it's good. It's good to have these kind of conversations to keep encouraging each other, to check in. And anytime I see somebody get their first house, like my cuz, it brings me joy, because I know like, hey, this is not going to be the last one. This is going to be the first of many. Right. Destiny, we were talking about at the top, you're going to be moving out of your house to get another one and rent that one out. And now it's just like 5 years down the road, you're going to thank yourself. You're going to be like, man, this was the best decision I made. Now this thing's bringing me income. I don't even have to work if I don't want to. I'm working because I want to. That type of deal.
Yeah, that's where I'm wanting to go. And literally, I told myself when I got this house, I said, literally, all you have to do is keep going. Like, just don't stop. It's not a matter of if at this point, it's just when, honestly, because I already have building equity. I already have $10,000 of equity in my house. I haven't even been in it a whole year yet. Well, actually, my 1 year anniversary is on Sunday. I'm moving into my house. I didn't even think about it until
Congrats.
Yes, thank you. I literally didn't even remember. I'm thinking I got months to go, but yep, it was June. It was June of last year. So I've got like $10,000 of equity already in my house. So, if I wanted to do anything, I could. If I need some extra funds to maybe close on this new property, I could pull some money out of it. I don't really want to do that. but you know, I got options. And you know, there's at this point, like I said, I'm going to get there. I just have to get there.
Agreed. Agreed. And yeah, no, we're happy to be kind of along with you for the journey. I can't wait to hear about the next property that closes. I know it's going to happen at some point this year. And
yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I think it will though. I need to because the interest rates are, but I know we already talked about that, like the numbers. And that was one thing I wanted to ask you, because I know you said that you help investors, of course. Do you have like a spreadsheet that you kind of use to run numbers for your clients?
so I actually use the big, and I don't know, are you familiar with Bigger Pockets? Do you listen to them?
Yes. I
So I
don't,
use
I'm not subscribed to them, but I have heard of them. I know they have a book out that I need to read.
multiple books, and I use the Bigger Pockets calculator, which is, it's basically, it took a spreadsheet that you could use to run your numbers. And there's so many spreadsheets out there, and they put it into a user-friendly, it's more visually appealing. Here, better yet, let me see if I can pull this up. We got about a minute left. So I'm going to share my screen.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Come on now. So we're going to share my screen. I was actually doing this for a client earlier today. So Bigger Pockets, and they have all these tools that you can use to run numbers. So whether it's an Airbnb or if you're trying to do a rental property, you can start plugging in addresses, right? You can view some of my past reports, and this is what it would look like. So these are some of the ones. Forgot I was looking in Chicago. Forget why. But here goes some of the ones. After you've put all the numbers in, it'll tell you, hey, this is what you could pull in. I think I was helping somebody think about an Airbnb. It was like a triplex in Chicago. All the costs that are associated with it. And it breaks it down to where you can show this to another person and start investing with them as well. So yeah, I use Bigger Pockets calculator. I also use this to track AirDNA data on what I could pull in from an Airbnb, which is important because I'm gonna be buying 2 here in the next 2 months. So I'm actually trying to put some contracts together here in the next 30 minutes.
Okay. How much is Bigger Pockets, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it's like 300 for a year to use the pro
that's
membership. It's not bad at all. It's not meant to sell you on much. It's 300 for a year and you got the pro membership.